You are listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast. I help female perfectionists beat self-sabotage and lose the weight for good using the Fit Figure Formula coaching program. I'm your host, Stephanie Riles, registered dietitian, personal trainer, and mindset transformation coach. If you've been struggling with all or nothing thinking, negative self-talk, or self-sabotage, this is the podcast for you. Learn how to get consistent and become the best version of yourself from the inside out. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to episode 68. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Stephanie Riles. I am the host of the Fit Figure Formula podcast and also the Fit Figure Formula coaching program. Today I'm going to be talking about Ozempic. So as a dietitian, a lot of people will ask me, what do I think about Ozempic? What are my opinions? And I'm going to break it down for you in this episode. So this will be a good one to share because this is definitely a hot topic. If you are not on Ozempic yourself, you probably know someone who either has been on it or is on it right now or is thinking about taking it. So be sure to share this episode in the group chat. Make sure you share this episode in your stories. Did you know that your Instagram stories or your Facebook stories, or even your TikTok stories are where your most loyal fans or friends hang out? So typically the people that are closest in your circle are watching your story. So go ahead and share this episode because it's going to be so good. Just tap that share button and we can get started. Before I dive in, I actually do want to give you another announcement. Make sure that if you want to join the Fit Figure Formula, and you are listening to this in real time, so this is November 2025. The Black Friday offer is already open. You can already join the formula with the Black Friday offer. And for my action takers, the first 5 ladies who join get bonus one-on-one calls on top of the actual Black Friday offer. So make sure you head to the show notes to apply to work with me inside of the formula. And lastly, the last announcement before I tell y'all my 2 cents on, if you have not already reviewed the podcast, I want you to just take like 1 or 2 minutes and review the podcast. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you can leave a 5-star rating and review. If you're listening on Spotify, you can give it 5 stars. And I think you can also leave a comment as well. This is going to help my podcast reach more ladies just like you. So if you take a couple of minutes to share the podcast, I would greatly appreciate it. I want to send a shout out to Claudine. Claudine is a former client and I'm an Android person. Okay. But I do see in the analytics in my podcast that most of y'all are listening on Apple Podcasts. So thanks for listening if you are on Apple. And I have to go in and like log into the Apple platform, which I don't do often. And there is where I can see any reviews. And I went in there the other day and y'all have left me some reviews. So Claudine left this on my birthday this year and I saw it probably about a month later. But I just wanted to shout out Claudine. Thank you so much for the 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, as well as there was someone who is, their username is Baywatcher, and you also left me a review. I really, really appreciate it. There's another one from Jim Gurley's, iPhone Ann. What's up, iPhone Ann? I want to thank you so much also for your 5-star rating. She said, very good info. I cannot get enough. Baywatcher wrote like 4 paragraphs. Love it. Thank you so much. And then Claudine as well. So I'm going to start giving you guys shout outs if you are putting reviews. All right. So let's jump into the episode. So if you are using Ozempic or thinking about using Ozempic, this episode is for you. So I'm going to break down what the medication does and what it cannot do. And also you'll learn why building a fitness identity, mastering your mindset and macros, and having a sustainable system still matter even if you are on Ozempic or something similar. There's more than one weight loss drug, but any kind of weight loss drug, and why you don't want to be dependent on this medication forever. So I'm going to share, as a registered dietitian and mindset coach, what I think the most important things that you need to consider, whether you're on it and thinking about getting off of it, or if you're considering starting. Okay. So in this conversation, you're going to walk away with some realistic, empowering understanding of how to really take your power back. Okay, so let's talk Ozempic or Zepbound or insert your medication here for weight loss, because it's everywhere right now. But here's the truth. Even if you choose to use it, you will still need to learn how to build a system that supports your health. So ever notice that Ozempic or other weight loss drugs are not necessarily going to make you healthier, right? Health actually comes from your habits. So yes, it can help you to lose weight, right? But we all know, even a person who's never been on Ozempic and who has never needed to lose weight, just because they're smaller or thinner doesn't mean they are healthy, right? Health really comes from your habits. So I think that when you lose weight, yes, you can decrease your risk for certain diseases, but we also know that you can still have diabetes, you can still have heart disease, you can still have kidney issues, you can still have high blood pressure, even if you're not severely overweight. I feel like there is a lot of pressure for women, especially, to try Ozempic because it seems like everybody's on it. We all know somebody who's on it or who has been on it. Recently, Serena Williams came out and she was on it. I think she's on Ozempic or something similar, right? And of course, whenever we have a celebrity endorsement of something, I always find it extremely interesting, especially when it comes to something like this, because I did hear on the internet that, her husband and her have either like stock or something. They have some financial ties to the medication, which I understand. She's a businesswoman, right? And if she's going to put her famous name on something, she's probably going to get a kickback. Like I understand that. However, I think it gave a lot of people the okay, like, oh my God, if Serena Williams can't lose weight, then there's no hope for me. I might as well just get on it kind of thing. I literally heard people have that mindset. And so I really want to implore you, if you don't want to go the medication route and you do want to do it in a more natural way, meaning you want to lose weight, you want to really fix your habits and your mindset and your lifestyle, then it's definitely something that you can do. Now, you always have to weigh the pros and cons, right? And it is my opinion that things like Ozempic should be like the last resort, right? Of course, you can do what you want with your own life, right? But this is just my opinion. You cannot look at it like a cure-all because it is not, right? And so this episode is not about shame or judgment if you are on Ozempic. I have clients who are on Ozempic. I have clients who have been on Ozempic and they're kind of trying to recover from it. And so this is not about shame or judgment. It's just, here's some things that I really think you should consider. So this GLP-1, it slows your digestion and basically decreases your appetite. So I have coached several ladies who are just never hungry. Like they went from having cravings and, wanting sugary things and carbs, and now they just don't want to eat very much. And when they do eat, they can't eat very much before they get really full. It can help with blood sugar control, appetite suppression, and of course, initial weight loss, right? So if you're actually consuming 800, 1,000 calories or something like that because you're just not as hungry, you're likely to lose weight, right? And so this is a tool. It's not a real transformation, because unless you want to stay on this medication forever, you're still going to have to master a lot of your habits and mindset and lifestyle, right? So this is just a tool. It is not the transformation. Ozempic will change your hunger, but it won't change your habits. And habits are what actually sustain results. Ozempic does not teach you portion control after you stop taking it. So sure, while you're on it, you're probably not going to want to eat as much. But guess what? Whenever you come off of that medication, your appetite is going to return. It doesn't fix emotional eating, stress, or sleep habits. Inside the Fit Figure formula, our last two guest coaches was a stress management coach and a sleep coach. These two lifestyle factors are very important, and Ozempic does not really address this. It actually makes the stress worse because you are now eating very little calories and your body perceives that as a threat. Again, I want to keep emphasizing, this is not about shame or judgment around taking it, but understand my clients who are on Ozempic. I still have them, eating roughly around every 4 hours. I want them eating protein-rich foods, making sure that they're still strength training, that they're walking, that they're getting as much nutrition as they can, like actual nutrients and micronutrients, like vitamins, minerals, fiber, because you can just starve yourself. You can just not eat very many calories and sure, you'll lose weight, but what is that doing to your bones? Are they making it brittle? Are you getting enough calcium, enough phosphorus, enough vitamin D, right? I want you to kind of think about the bigger picture. So even if you are on Ozempic and your appetite is a lot less, your nutrition really needs to be nutrient dense, right? You need to think about every single bite being something that is nutrient dense, single ingredient, whole foods that has micronutrients and a lot of protein so that you can make every single bite count. Being on Ozempic does not teach you how to fuel your workouts or build strength. It does not give you a new fitness identity, and it does not create consistency. Right? And so when you think about overall, what are the things that I need in order to create my goal and keep it? You're still going to have to work on those same things. So Ozempic does not fix those things. So what does that mean? That means that your habits and your lifestyle, your schedule and your time management, your mindset, all of those still need to be optimized. They all still need to be prioritized. You cannot really get around the work. The work that needs to be done in order for you to create the goal and keep it, you really can't get around it unless you want to be on Ozempic forever and ever and ever and ever. And something that I noticed about some of my clients who have been on Ozempic, I'm thinking about one in particular, she had so little energy because she was barely eating. So if you are exhausted on Ozempic or another GLP-1, it's probably because you're not eating enough nutrients to actually fuel your body. And right now, this particular client that I'm thinking about is in a reverse diet, and she was eating 800 calories. I know you'll probably hear this episode. Hey girl, hey. She was eating around 800 calories, scared to eat out. And we have her now increasing her calories slowly. I think we're up to maybe 1550. And she is feeling so much better, so much more confident. She can plan her meals out with flexibility. She's getting in her protein, and this is helping her have more energy, find more strength, build more muscle. I know it's great for her bones, it's good for her hormones, and she's fitting into clothes that she wasn't fitting in before with eating more calories. So it's so important that you don't just look at this as a way to cut your calories super low, because cutting your calories really low is one of the biggest ways to tank your metabolism, because you're going to be losing lots of muscle. And that's one of the side effects, right? Is losing your muscle, the impact on your metabolism. The body burns fewer calories when you lose muscle. So when you lose muscle because you're not strength training, you don't really have enough energy to really strength train the way that you need to when you're only eating that little calories. And when you're only eating 1200 calories, your body is not only going to shed fat, it's going to shed muscle as well. And so this rapid muscle loss will also create weight loss, right? And so if you're not paying attention to that, I highly recommend you get an in-body scan. Just Google in-body near me and look and see if you can find a free version of in-body, or if at least if you have one of the scales at home that show you your body fat percentage, you can at least trend that to see how much muscle am I losing. Ideally, we want to be losing fat and maintaining as much muscle as we possibly can. That way you don't end up gaining weight on fewer calories later. And this is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see in terms of weight loss drugs, is that we think that we can get to the goal with this medication, or we even do this with diets. We think that you can go vegan, or you can do keto, you can do paleo, get to your goal, and then stop doing that and do something else and keep the goal. But this rebound weight gain from doing weight loss medications is crazy. I have literally seen a client who was working with me for months. She was losing weight. She got off of weight loss medication, and when I tell you she regained her weight back in like a month, it was crazy. So this rebound weight gain is a real thing. And if you want to get off of the yo-yo dieting, you still have to master your habits, your mindset, and your lifestyle. When you lose weight too quickly, you're going to lose more muscle than fat. And that muscle is what is keeping your metabolism strong. So I know that not everyone wants to be in the gym lifting weights, but there's literally nothing like strength training. And I don't mean you're working out and you have some dumbbells in your hand. I mean actually strength training. I probably need to do I think I'm going to do a podcast episode on how to actually strength train, because I think what I see is clients are like, oh, well, I'm weightlifting, I'm strength training just because they have some dumbbells in their hands and they're really lifting too light or just doing not enough reps for the light weight that they're using, and they're not stressing their muscle out enough. So even though you think you're strength training, you're really not. And your muscle needs to be under a certain amount of tension. We want to be going really close to failure, not just when it starts to burn, but like close to failure. You really need to be tracking your workout. So if you like to go in there and just do whatever you feel in the moment, and I'm guilty of this too, y'all, so I'm not just talking about you, but you go in there and you do 3 sets of 10 of just the stuff that you like to do, and you're not on a comprehensive training program that is designed to help transition you from one fitness level to the next. I'm not saying you're wasting your time. You're doing something, and that's better than nothing for sure. But I really want you to know that like tracking your weights in the gym, being consistent with a strength training program and not changing things up too much is really going to be helpful. I know that some people get bored, like, oh, I don't want to do the same thing every time, but it's like you need variety and you need some repetition as well before you decide to get on a weight loss medication. I don't want you to think just about getting on it and how that journey is going to look like. I want you to think about what are the real changes that I need to make as I'm coming off of it. I was telling my daughter the other day, she's 18, y'all. I have an 18-year-old, which is crazy. And she was like returning something. Like, I feel like now as a mom, I make everything into a life lesson. Like, she's got a little money because she had a job for the last couple of years. And so she ordered something and she had to return it. And so I was like, you know what, whenever you buy something, or you enter into a contract or something like that, because she's very business minded as well. I'm like, don't just think about getting into the contract or starting the program or buying the thing. You need to think it all the way through and think about, how do I return this? How do I get out of this? How does this end so that I can have long-term success? So hopefully that analogy kind of makes sense. Like, before you decide to get on a GLP-1, you just want to think through, what does life look like on the other side of it? So even with medication, you still need structure and you still need support. So it could look like building a new fitness identity, like seeing yourself as someone who moves well, who eats well, who lives life differently. I promise you, if you feel like I've always been the bigger girl, or I've never had the body that I really wanted, and you're trying to create something that you literally have never had, you need to be thinking so much about that girl, about that woman who has the result. You need to be creating her in your mind. You need to be practicing embodying her in every moment. And it's a whole life's work, right? Even if you are at your goal, even if you have been thin all of your life, working on who you're becoming is your goal. Like, that's the process, is actually paying attention to who you are becoming along the journey. You still need to understand your macros and how to nourish your body long term. You still want to develop some self-coaching tools to stop emotionally eating or stress eating. These are things that I teach my clients inside of the formula. I give them so many tools that will help you in everyday life, when life starts to life, that you can use. Practice embodying your highest self. This is life-changing work, and it's the greatest work that you'll ever do on yourself. You will never regret working on yourself. You'll never regret pouring into yourself, feeding yourself better, practicing self-care, moving your body well. The return on investment is your life. Like, let that sink in. Like, this is not optional. I guess it is, but we know that as Black people, we die sooner than others, right? There's lots of different reasons for that, but like, control what you can control. This is not a game. This is not a drill. This is your actual life. Take your time here seriously. Take your schedule seriously. Take your health habits seriously. Take how you think about yourself very seriously. Mastering these basics, right? Sleep, strength training, hydration, walking, recovery, self-care, self-love, mastering your emotions, self-coaching, how to nourish your body. Like, I can't think of anything better than that, honestly. So you don't have to be anti-Ozempic. You just need to be pro you. You need to build a foundation that lasts with or without Ozempic. Most people who are on Ozempic may not have a dietitian or a mindset coach to help them. And that's why they still struggle after. Isn't it crazy that in America, we have all of these tools and we have all of these resources and all of these drugs, and we are still not a healthy country? Most of our population is still classified as classically overweight or obese. We still have high incidences of high cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, right? These drugs are not the fix to that. You are. And when you take ultimate responsibility for that, whether or not you get on the medication or not, when you take that power back and you decide that I'm going to master my time, I'm going to think about this high level. When I wake up in the morning, how do I want to live my life? And you may not be able to change the life that you have immediately. You may hate your actual job. Trust me, I've been in this. You may not be able to change your life immediately, but if you just start thinking about it and being more open to like, wow, I would really like to have a job that doesn't stress me out and allows me to eat lunch, right? I would really like to be able to wake up and take a walk in the morning so that I can get my steps in and just move my body before I get my day started. I really want to carve out time so that I can do strength training 3 times a week because it makes me feel strong. But sometimes I don't feel like I have enough time. Like, you have to know what the goal is and what the process is. So I was listening to this lady on Instagram. I think her name is Karen. She's a behavior change specialist and she has such great ideas. And she was talking about a vision board, right? So January 2026 is coming up and I love doing vision boards. I have done vision board parties for years, but she also gave me another idea. She said something about a becoming board. And I think I'm definitely going to do this with my clients where we have a vision board and we're thinking about our actual vision and goal, the end goal. But then she was saying your becoming board is you in the process, you going on a walk, even though it's raining, you pushing through, even when you don't feel like it, you waking up early morning to do some stretching. Like, it's the actual process. And then she said, take pictures of yourself when you're doing it and replace those like magazine cutouts or your digital photos that you found online for your board. And then start replacing those through the year of pictures of you actually doing it. I think that is such a brilliant way to like not forget about your vision board and your becoming board by March after you do it in January. It's such a great way to bring it to life and to remember that your goal is made in the process. It's made through the journey, and make that journey real and tangible and actionable. And that's how you really build confidence, because you see yourself doing it. And like the action of you replacing an actual photo of yourself with the digital photo that you found, it's like, oh, this is real. I am becoming my ultimate vision. And I think that's such a powerful way to like solidify it in your brain. I just absolutely love that. So understand that Ozempic does not fix everything. You still need to work on your mindset, understand your macros, and work on your health behaviors. So inside of the Fit Figure formula, this is what I help you do. I help you with making sure that you're losing weight, but protecting your metabolism, especially over 40. We work on building emotional resilience. Last night, y'all, we had a stress management coach come, and it was such a good conversation. We did some somatic exercises to help our body, because what she told us was that like mindset is great and we do need the mindset part, but she was saying that our nervous system actually needs like the 5 senses. And we went through some actual exercises for my clients to actually process things through their nervous system And this creates more emotional resilience. Life is going to life, but when you feel like you have the capacity to handle it and you don't have to stress eat, you don't have to self-sabotage, it makes you expand as a human being, right? We also create sustainable habits inside of the Fit Figure formula that don't disappear when medication stops, that don't disappear even when the program ends, because I teach my clients to build my formula within their actual lifestyle. So you're taking this with you as you go. So Ozempic can change your weight, but Fit Figure formula is going to change your life. The medication is just a tool. So don't use it as a crutch, right? Ozempic is not evil and it's not the answer either. It's helpful for some people, but it should be the last resort in my opinion. It's not the first step. I feel like doctors need to be referring out to dietitians more often. It's one of my pet peeves, actually. I was just commenting on a doctor's post on Instagram a few minutes ago because they were talking about GLP-1s and how, a lot of their clients have already been told to eat less and move more. And that's why they just go ahead and put them on GLP-1. But I don't hear them saying, hey, I'm going to refer you to a dietitian very often. I find that very disheartening and a little ridiculous, to be honest. So the goal is not just to lose weight, but the goal is to really be a healthy person, be a healthier version of yourself. So this takes some strategy, takes some mindset, and I would love to help you inside of the Fit Figure formula. So if you are ready to take your power back, if you want to be healthy from the inside out, if you really want to work on your habits and feel better and not need anything other than you, I can teach you inside the formula. I would love it if you head to the show notes and apply to work with me with the link. You can also please share this podcast. Make sure you share, make sure you leave a review if this was helpful, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast. If you're new here and you're struggling with your fitness journey, I invite you to take a super simple next step. Click the link in the show notes for a free training. If listening to this podcast has been helpful, imagine being inside the Formula Coaching Program. You can apply for coaching with the link in the show notes. I hope to see you inside.